Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name's Randy. I love everything crochet, and today we're doing a crochet tutorial for the seal that I am going to name Snowcone. I think he's kind of shaped like a snow cone, so I feel like that's very appropriate. I also can't decide, is he a little more like a white like walrus because of his mouth? He almost looks like he has a little mustache, but that's okay. Today we'll be doing a tutorial of this guy. And I always forget to say when I start my tutorial, I use single crochet stitch the entire time unless I say otherwise, like I do when I made his little tail. So there's that. I always forget to say that. But yeah, this is a perfect, like if you want to make a wintry thing for your couch that's not necessarily Christmas, or if you want to make like a wintry animal for a gift, he's a great idea. I'm getting a little faster and faster with these. Normally these take me a good while, but this time this one only take me like 4.5 hours, which is a lot, but I did wing it the whole time. I was going with the flow, so that normally takes a little while longer. But yeah, if you make this guy, you should definitely go follow my Instagram, either send me a picture, or if you have an Instagram that you post your crochet on, definitely tag me because I'm always curious to see what your stuff ends up looking like. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I always try and include the full list of what you'll need for your project in the description down below. But we'll be starting with our main yarn, which you don't have to do a white seal. You could do a gray seal or whatever color you'd like. I am just going to use white because I have plenty of white yarn. I'm using Premier Little Bunny yarns because this is my favorite fluffy yarn. I think it's very easy to work with. I love how it looks and it's very soft. So we're going to do our magic ring, or if you're like me, 1, 2, 3, 4, then go into the end. Ta-da! You have a circle. You go into the center of the circle, so you're in the middle of your 4 stitches. Then you pull through for your first stitch. And with this yarn, I generally do 6 stitches into the center circle. But if you are using, I think like the chenille yarn or like certain other yarns, you may need to do 8, so that will kind of like offset how many stitches you have. But we'll go ahead and do 6 stitches into here. I think that was 6. I hope it was. And then hold on. Once you did your first round of putting all your stitches into the middle, we're going to go into our first stitch from that previous round. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Now I just learned today that some people use stitch markers for their final stitch. So if you do that, you kind of just do the opposite. I do the first stitch, as you can see, and then I go back into that one for 2 stitches, then go into the next one and put 2 stitches in that one, then into the next one and put 2 stitches in that one. So that will be 2 stitches into every single stitch. I will use that phrasing, the 2 stitches into 1 stitch, multiple times. I'm going to do short form expanding content, so I will show you this and then we will do the next round together, and then I'll kind of do like short form, just letting you know what to do next so we don't have a 1 to 2 hour long video. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and this time we're going to put 2 stitches into the first. So do that, put my stitch marker back, and then go back into that one for a second stitch, and then we're going to do a single stitch, then 2 stitches into the next, and then a single stitch, and we're going to do that all the way around. For the next round, we're going to put 2 stitches into the first, then 1, 2, then 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, all the way around. You're going to put 2 stitches into the first stitch, then 1, 2, 3, 2 stitches in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, following the pattern all the way around. Next round we'll put 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, following that pattern all the way around. Next round, 2 stitches in the first one, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way around to the start. Next round, 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, repeating the pattern all the way around. Next round, you put 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, repeating the pattern all the way around. 2 stitches in the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, repeating that pattern all the way around. We are finished expanding for right now, so I'm just going to put a single stitch in every single stitch all the way around. For several rounds, I will come back and let you know how many rounds I do. Here's a cute clip of my cat snoozing away next to me while I crochet. I did 7 rounds of putting a single stitch in every stitch, so staying the same. So there's 7 rounds of that, and now we're going to reduce a little bit. So I will switch back over to showing you guys, and then we'll come back and do short form content. So we are going to reduce a little bit. I typically do like a head and then a body, but today I do want to try out doing a head and body all in one piece. So I'm going to weave through the first stitch, then weave through the second stitch. So I have 3 loops on and pull all the way through, taking 2 stitches and making it 1. That will be kind of the way I'll communicate it, is by saying like put 2 stitches into 1, take 2 stitches, make 1, stuff like that. And then I'm going to do 7 or 8. Hold on. So I'm going to do that where I reduced, and then I'm going to do 8 single stitches. I had to check. I like to go by what my last expanding stitch was. So 5, 6, 7, then 8, and then we're going to reduce again. So I'm going to go through the first one, then the second one, pull through to make 1, then 8 single stitches, and we're going to repeat this pattern all the way to the start. This time we're going to reduce again by putting 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 stitches into 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, repeating the pattern all the way around. This time, because I want it to be a little bit more dramatic of a reduce, I'm going to put 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 stitches into 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, repeating the pattern all the way around. This round, I'm just going to do a single stitch in every stitch. I'm trying to create like a little bit of a neck. So I'm going to put a single stitch in every stitch all the way around. Go ahead and do one more round of a single stitch in every stitch before I expand out again. I think that will look okay. I'll try and remember to say this at the beginning of the video because I filmed the beginning at the very end. That I do these things for the first time with you guys 99% of the time. So any mistakes I make, I'm realizing in real time with you guys. So we're trying this out all together. But I always say in the beginning if it was a fail or what, you should alter. So hopefully this will work out. Now we're going to increase again for the body, so we want to make it bigger. So we're going to put 2 stitches into 1. So we're going to put the first stitch and the second stitch into our starting stitch. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm thinking about how we'll do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. For the next round, we're going to keep expanding, which I'm starting to get kind of the shape I want. Here, we started with the head. We're working our way to the tail. So I'm going to put 2 stitches into the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, repeating the pattern all the way around. And I am sorry that my expanding and reducing sound very similar in how I phrase it. I'm working on it, but when we're expanding, we're putting 2 into the first one, and when I talk about reducing, we put 1, then 2, and make it 1. But I do make them sound similar, so I'm working on that phrase. Here's a better look at our shape so far, and then we're gonna put 2 stitches into the first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 stitches in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way around. We're going to put 2 stitches in the first, then 7 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 7, all the way around. Next round, put 2 stitches in the first, then 8 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 8, all the way back to the start. I'm going to go ahead and add the face because I think it just helps the vision. And I don't know if these eyes are going to be too big or not. I do want him to have kind of like big eyes. I think that fits the look of a cute like seal. So I'm going to kind of like figure out the placement of the eyes, and then I'm going to add like the mouth slash like nose, muzzle. So I'm going to get a nice long piece of my gray, which this is just loops and thread Sweet Snuggles yarn, I think. I know a lot of people love this like chenille yarn, but it's not my favorite to work with personally, but for details, I think it works great. And you know what, if you like it, more power to you, because I honestly think this yarn is a lot more difficult to work with than fluffy yarn because of that reason. So, all right, I got my yarn on, and I'm kind of gonna do like, I'm gonna embroider it, because that's just my preference for the look I'm going for. So I wanna make sure I have a tail. I'm gonna kind of try and go to like the center of the face, and I'm just gonna keep going back and forth between the 2 spots and try not to tangle my yarn up here. I'll move the eyes for right now because I haven't decided how I want to place them. I'm going to do probably this part first and then go back with the eyes. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth into the same spot, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. Then we're going to do it. I clearly cut way too much of the gray yarn, but that's okay. You know, we live and we learn. So save that for another day. And now we're going to add the nose and the eyes. I had to redo this part because it needed to be a little bit bigger, but I literally, like I said, I kind of picked a point, went back and forth through it, then back and forth through the opposite side until I kind of had a little bit of like, what would this be? Is it like their mouth and nose combo? Their snout? Their snoot? Whichever. Just tie off your yarn in here. Then I'm going to use some acrylic, which I think I already have. I guess I don't have any cut at this point. Let me find the end of my acrylic. Now I'm just going to use some black acrylic yarn and go in making like a little triangle nose. Let me not weave my yarn all the way through. I'm really good at that. And I'm kind of going to do the same concept, but this time I got like an area instead because I want it to be, so I'm going to kind of like go back and forth between one side and the other to create like a nose in the center. It doesn't have to be like perfectly triangular. It could be honestly whatever shape you want it to be. You can do the nose however you want. I personally am going to try and make it a little bit like a triangle. Oop, that didn't go to the right side. And then there we go. We got the start of our face. Now we need to add the eyes. I think the eyes I had originally picked were too big, so I think I'm going to go with these, which are 16 millimeter, I believe, eyes. So I'm going to set that, and I'm going to tie off the nose and attach the eyes in a way that I like. And then we're gonna keep going on with this. It kind of looks like he has a little bit of a mustache. Back to the body, we are going to do 2 stitches into the first, then 9 single stitches, then 2 stitches in the next, then 9, all the way back to the start. Next, we're just gonna put a single stitch in every stitch all the way around, and we're gonna stay the same for an undisclosed amount of time. I will let you know once we get however many rounds we're gonna do. I'm on my 5th round of staying the same, and I'm gonna keep going, but I did want to add that I just finished off my first skein of yarn. So if you get this yarn to make this project, you get actually most of the way through. I would say about 3/4 of the way through your seal. Halfway through the body, but it is going to taper off here shortly. I am going to reduce for a couple of rounds because the body's looks a little wide. So I'm going to put 2 stitches, make them 1. So go through the first loop and the second loop, pull it through to make 1 stitch, then 9, then turn 2 stitches into 1, then 9, and go all the way around. This time we're going to put 2 stitches, make it 1. So we'll go through the first one and the second one, making it 1 stitch. Then we'll do 8 single stitches, then to put 2 stitches into a single, turn 2 stitches into a single stitch, then 8 single stitches all the way around. This round we're going to put a single stitch in every stitch all the way around. Next round we're going to take 2 stitches, make 1. So go through the first and the second, making 1 stitch. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single stitches. Then 2 stitches, make it 1, then 7. Next we're going to reduce 2 stitches into 1, then do 6 single stitches, then 2 stitches into 1, 6 stitches, repeating all the way around. This round we're going to put a single stitch in every stitch all the way back to the start. Next we're going to reduce 2 stitches into 1, so go into the first, then the second, make 1 single stitch, then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single stitches, then 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way around. Next round, I'm gonna reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4 single stitches, and repeat the pattern all the way around. Next round, just do a single stitch in every stitch all the way back to the start. I'm going to reduce 2 stitches into a single stitch, and then go 1, 2, 3, then 2 stitches reduced into a single stitch, 1, 2, 3, all the way around. Reduce 2 stitches into 1, then 1, 2, then 2 stitches into 1, 1, 2, all the way around. Reduce 2 stitches into 1, then a single stitch, 2 stitches into 1, then a single stitch, all the way around. I went ahead and partially stuffed the seal. I will add more stuffing when we get a little bit closer, but this time I'm gonna just reduce all the way around. So I'm gonna be putting 2 stitches, making 1, putting 2 stitches, making 1, all the way around. Because the hole is still pretty large, I'm going to do another round of reducing all the way around. So we'll put 2 stitches, make it 1, 2 stitches, make it 1, 2 stitches, make it 1, all the way around. And then we're going to seal up the bottom and make the tail fin and the regular fin. Right now I kind of have a bowling pin looking seal and a cute kitty cat. I have to make him his little flippers and his tail. For the fins that we'll put here, I'm gonna layer them. So I'm gonna do 2 separate pieces, sew them together, then sew them on to make it a little bit more stiff, because typically if you only do 1 piece, it likes to curl and bend up. So I like to either do round like the body, or in this case, do 2 pieces that I will stitch together. I'm not gonna stuff these, but basically I did a starting chain of 5. Actually, no, it was a starting chain of 6, 1 row of 5, then on the second row, added a single stitch onto the end, making it 6 stitches. Then for the third row, adding a single stitch onto the end, putting a single stitch in every stitch, so 7 rows of 7 stitches. And then the last one I reduced by putting 2 stitches, making it 1, 1, 2, 3, 2 stitches, making it 1, and pulling it to kind of round off the end. And you want to do that 4 times. I've decided I didn't like the mouth and nose, so I'm going to redo it. I also think I made the eyes a little too far apart, so I'm unsure if I'll keep them here or not, but I'm going to go ahead and redo the mouth. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. I think that'll look. I did redo the mouth and nose. I did the nose smaller and more round. And then I basically did the same idea with the mouth again, except I did do a couple that were shorter than my general one to give it a better look. But I'm still deciding if I want to keep the eyes. When I look at them through the camera, I like them. My problem is I stare at my crochet pieces for so long, I start to hate it. It's kind of like the rule that you shouldn't look in the mirror for a long time because your face will deform. I feel like my crochet becomes deformed the longer I stare at it, but To add the fins, once you attach them together, because this is why I like them two pieces sewn together, because it kind of gives it like a little bit of definition to it. I literally just create a seam and attach it to the body, but you can crochet it however, or sew it however you prefer. I also like to do it slightly forward on it, not perfectly on the side, and at a slight angle, because it gives it a little bit more personality and kind of lays a little nicer. For the tail, we're going to kind of do the same idea of doing 2 layered pieces. So I'm going to do a starting chain here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to do 3 rows of 8 stitches. So we'll go ahead and do that. Once you've done your 3 rows of 8, we're actually going to do a treble stitch. We're going to go into the first one with it. It's a little hard to do with fluffy yarn, so let me redo that. And we're going to do 3 treble stitches in total. So that was 1, then 2, and now 3. And then we're going to do 2 single stitches and then 3 treble stitches to kind of get a look of a tail. And you're going to do this twice to make the seal tail, and you'll weave this together and attach it with the scalloped part on the end. All right, the seal is done. Let's go get a closer look. Here is a closer look at our seal. I think I'm gonna call him Snowcone, the seal. I think that'll be a cute name. But yeah, here he is. I'm still unsure about the safety eyes. I don't 100% love them, but they're not bad enough for me to rip them out. You should let me know if I should keep them or embroider eyes on instead. His tail, his little arms, and his mouth. I do like this much better than the original. And yeah, he's squishy, not too big. I do like to make larger plush, if you cannot tell by my page. But if you made this guy, you should definitely go to my Instagram, either send me a picture or tag me in the photo if you post it. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know down below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!